Act 1. My Little Unicorn.
From youth, Elizabeth Holmes wanted to make a difference. Dropping out from her chemical engineering course at Stanford, Holmes found medical diagnostic firm Theranos in March 2004. The dream was to make blood tests faster, cheaper and more capable. Before long, Theranos gained the attention of venture capitalists whom gave it a total of $89.2 million, valuing the company at $1 billion. Wanting to be free of equity funding, Holmes secured contracts to provide simple clinical trials, creating real cash flow for continued development. For years, Theranos operated in stealth mode. Visitors to their headquarters had to sign non-disclosure agreements, and hiring and leasing information were treated as corporate secrets. As a private company without disclosure obligations, Holmes was able to evade discussion on the firm's technology and its finances. Holmes declared a strategy to avoid at all cost any interaction with, or disclosure of its efforts to, potential rivals, so to help Theranos maintain and extend its technological lead.
Act 2. Into the Light.
By 2013, Theranos was finally ready to sell its tests directly to consumers. However, thanks to its decade of secrecy, Theranos still lacked a visible public brand. This changed on September 2013, when Theranos announced a partnership with Walgreens, the largest retail pharmacy chain in the country. Walgreens will offer Theranos clinical laboratory services in its drugstores nationwide. Soon after the announcement, Theranos opened its first wellness center in a Walgreens drugstore near its California headquarters. 3 months later, it expanded out of California into the Phoenix metropolitan area. Theranos' ultimate goal was to have a presence within 5 miles of every American. And by December 2014, it seemed well on its way with 40 such diagnostic centers in Phoenix. Along the way, Theranos continued developing its proprietary technology. On the 5th of May 2015, it announced the addition of a reference lab which would allow for cheaper, specialized, higher-margin tests. Holmes described this move as a transformation of the medical diagnostic industry's cost curve, and a core step in Theranos' push to disrupt the industry. By the 12th of June 2014, Theranos was valued at $9 billion and Holmes' net worth was projected at $4.5 billion. This made her the world's youngest self-made female billionaire, landing her a spot on Forbes' list of the 400 wealthiest Americans. Holmes became a media darling and Theranos was seen as a prospective 2016 IPO target. Both were featured in major publications. However, even then, cracks were beginning to show.
Act 3. House of Cards.
As early as 2013, there were public concerns over Theranos' lack of peer review, its secrecy policy, and the competency of its board. On October 15, 2015, the first exposé was released by Wall Street Journal, with ex-employees accusing the company of failing to report test results, and manipulating the public health lab proficiency testing process. Theranos disputed the charges in a blog post, but some felt that the reply was more rhetorical than substantive. The very next day, it was reported that the FDA had made an unannounced inspection of Theranos, over concerns. Subsequently, the FDA labeled Theranos Nanothaner as an unapproved medical device. FDA also criticized the firm for its failure to properly track and respond to customer complaints, inadequate internal record-keeping regarding quality assurance, and lack of internal audit of its quality management system. The damage to Theranos' reputation was done. The Financial Times further questioned Theranos' integrity. Earlier, Theranos had claimed to have earned income from large pharmaceutical companies, including Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline. This was denied by both firms. Back in 2013, Theranos was championed for its price transparency. In hindsight, Pricing may be the only area in Theranos that is crystal clear. While Theranos' revolutionary technology was and still remains keystone to success, there was an overt lack of scientific validation to back it. Prominent researchers have since denounced Theranos' lack of validation in peer-reviewed journals. While critics have taken Theranos' secrecy as a sign that Theranos was hiding the truth that its technology did not work, Holmes brushed aside these accusations as a smear campaign. Instead of peer reviews, Theranos preferred to voluntarily obtain FDA approval, considering approval as an indicator of product quality. On the 2nd of July 2015, Theranos' HSV-1 test was granted FDA clearance. Yet, to date, that remains the only Theranos' test to have gained regulatory approval. It was further found that Theranos exploited regulatory gray areas to conceal its Edison technology, allowing it to bypass necessary regulatory approvals. On the 20th of December 2015, it came to light that a former Theranos lab employee had previously filed a complaint with CMS, alleging that Theranos' machines had major stability, precision, and accuracy problems. A week later, it was revealed that although CMS conducted an inspection, inspectors never tested Theranos' single blood drop machine. In all, Theranos seems to be realizing that its opacity has become a liability. Since its sudden fall from grace, former patrons voiced criticisms and negative experiences. Partners of Theranos began distancing themselves. Walgreens halted new plans. Cleveland Clinic attempted to disassociate from Theranos, while Safeway declined to contract with the firm.
Act 4. A Study in Scarlet.
Watching the Theranos debacle unfold, a curious question would be why no earlier mitigating action was taken. One possible line of investigation would be to look at Theranos' board of directors, who are charged with oversight responsibilities. While little information is available on Theranos' board in its early years, at some point its board consisted of Ramesh Sunny Balwani, George Schultz, Channing Robertson, Robert Shapiro and Pete Thomas. Schultz, who joined the board in July 2011, introduced many of Theranos' later directors. The board grew. Then, board changes in July 2013 saw 3 directors replaced by incoming members Richard Kovacevic and James Mattis. In 2014, Theranos' board grew with further additions of Riley Bechtel, Bill Frist, and William Fudge. Theranos' board was crowned the most illustrious board in U.S. history, but criticized for its lack of medical expertise. 8 of its 14 board members were former military and government officials, while only 2 graduated from medical school. The board had an average age of 80, leading Fortune to wonder how updated the directors are with Theranos' day-to-day operations. Fortune further noted that this board like no other was assembled for its regulatory and governmental connections, not for its understanding of the company or its technology. On the 28th of October 2015, Theranos announced that it intended to form a new medical board with 4 members, 2 of whom were Frist and Fudge from the old board. The other members were David Helfet and Jonathan Simons. The governing board was also reduced from 12 to 5 directors, with new member, David Boyes. The other existing board members remained as part of the board of counselors, which would take on an advisory role. Even with the restructuring, the New York Times called Theranos a corporate governance disaster, and questioned Boyes' possible conflict of interest as he was Theranos' general counsel. Despite the millions of investment dollars poured into her firm, to this day, Holmes still remains the controlling shareholder and CEO of Theranos. In March 2014, Theranos claimed unanimous shareholder consent to a dual-class stock issue. After effecting these dual-class shares, Holmes's control seems to have further solidified, with her class of shares having 100 times more voting power than other shares. However, 2 years later in a Forbes interview, a shareholder claimed that he did not consent to the arrangement, and that he did not receive any information on Theranos' financial performance or prospects.
Act 5. Theranos Today.
Entering 2016, Theranos' future hangs in the balance. On January 25, 2015, the CMS released a report that Theranos shows substandard blood testing practices that pose immediate jeopardy to patient health and safety. Theranos was at risk of suspension from the Medicare program. That same month, both Walgreens and Capital Blue Cross issued an embargo on Theranos' tests. Soon after, Walgreens served Theranos a 30-day deadline to resolve the patient safety issues, or risk losing their long-term relationship. On February 4, 2016, Theranos was seeking a writer. One who can innovate and conceptually solve problems through the power of excellent storytelling. Handle stressful situations and deadline pressures. However, Theranos' deliverance is unlikely to come in the form of a savvy new writer. Instead, what it needs is to hunker down for a serious dialogue on its corporate governance and operational woes. And together with its stakeholders, rewrite the image and future of the firm.